Alright, here we go. Wood Shark. It's Poulan Wood Shark model 1975. It's the one my dad had. We had a video on it. A couple of them so far. We tried the one carburetor. No matter what we done with it, we just couldn't get it to work. It's the OEM style. Is the choke lever is the biggest issue. It's just one prong that comes out, and all the replacement carbs are this style. So when you engage the choke, and you pull it, I got it the right way, I'm sorry. So then it releases. So you pull it this way. Once you hit the throttle, it releases. The old one is not like that. The old one is wherever you move it at is, there's no releasing it with a throttle. So it's a different setup, which is apparently what they call for nowadays. Is I cannot find this one anywhere. Well, I'm sorry, one guy had it here local in northern Ohio, but it was very expensive for a remanufactured one. It wasn't even brand new, it was remanufactured. It was crazy expensive. So with these, it's the problem I had last time. We've done that other video. You can see where we had to notch it out right here. And because the linkage on these for the choke, I'll install it here real quick so you can see what I'm saying, is the problem is it hits the cover. Just because of the design of it. And so with that kind of that style carburetor, without notching this cover, it's not going to work. It will let you can install it and everything as normal, but the problem that we have, and I had this happen on one other one, and I must have got rid of it because I was looking for it so I could show you guys with it installed, but so I must have got rid of it. I could not find it anywhere. But so this is with the choke off. Get you down where you can see there, so you can see where we notched it out. And with the choke lever installed, it kicks it back. So the problem we had before, without notching this out, you hit the throttle with this style, it releases your choke. So the problem we had, without that hole being there to make room, the choke would engage, but it'd go up against the plastic and would bind it and would not let the choke release. That would be this part right here on the carburetor. That notch, how it kicks up. Get some of that light off, maybe you can see, but there's a notch where the little piece sticks up. But so when you hit the throttle release, there you go, you can see it, that little hook looking piece comes up like that, jams itself. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So it jams itself up against the plastic. So when you hit the throttle, it does nothing. It stays just like this. So when you hit it, it's supposed to release it, which doesn't happen because it's on a bind. So that's the problem we was having. Then we got into another issue of, if I can get you down here on the throttle linkage, kind of got that figured out too. I'm hoping this doesn't leak. But your fuel line, right where you can see the throttle linkage here, right there is your throttle where it goes down to your throttle trigger. Right there is your fuel line, the nipple for your fuel line where it comes down. Now in these new style ones, they just come, leave it straight down. Yeah, here's the new one. This one's got a little bit of an angle on it. Here's the factory one. You can see how it's pitched compared to this one, how it's pitched way out. Now the other kit I just bought was the same way, if not worse than this one. I think it was sticking more straight down. Now I never really recommend doing it, but for this one, it's it's never going to get used. We just just want to hear it run, so no big deal. And so what I did was took where the nipple piece is, if this one will do it, just grabbed it and just real gently, yeah, there it goes, so you can hear it just cracked loose. So real gently just turned it, and it made a difference of working and not working, because the throttle linkage on that, on the OEM carb, it goes underneath the nipple, and on this style carb it has to go over it. So that just that little bit of a turn, actually I think it was more like that there. So for this carb to work, we ended up having to twist the nipple a little bit to clear the linkage up and notch the plastic out for the choke lever. Now and give this guy credit for this, because this is one thing I never thought of. I should be able to find his user ID here, because he definitely, I've never thought about this, but it's a super good idea. If I can find it here. But I've taken, when you notch them out like this, because my other one, when I done it, I was worried about if it actually got used hard of stuff making it past the air filter on it. But with the idea he has, which is kind of brilliant, because I've never even gave it consideration. You take, he said, you get metal screen and JB weld, put it in there, just smooth it over to cover that hole up, which I'm sure probably will work without a doubt. And oh, come on. Well, I will find it on here, because he definitely deserves a lot of credit on that, because it was a really good idea. But I will find his user ID, which I should have had to begin with, and just trying to rush it, because it's just trying to get done. So, let's see. Here it is. I believe it's Country Souls. Ooh. Country Souls Shop 21. You can see it. I can't get it to focus, but that's him right there. So it was like a couple days ago. I haven't had a chance. There's been so much graduation stuff going on, but I thought it was a really good idea. And that's what he was saying. You can cut the corner where it hits, then cut a small piece of mesh screen to cover the hole. Dab some silicone or JB weld on the corner of the mesh, then choke lever will clear and work properly. So he's done it quite a few times. It worked for him. So at some point, that's what I'll do. The main focus right now is just getting this freaking thing to run, and then once it runs, then I will do that. But that is a really good idea. I honestly say I've never thought of that, and of course this is only the second time of doing it. And but it's real simple to do. So I was saying, just hit it with a Dremel, and then just went around it with a utility knife just to clean it up a little bit, get all the burrs and everything off. So I think it'll work just fine, because it's, you get the mesh over it, with a little bit of silicone or JB weld. I was going to use JB weld, and it'll clear. I mean, just put a little bit of a bubble in it right there, just to clear that lever where it sticks out, and you should be good, because it won't affect your air cut or your air filter at all. You're right on. And I mean, you can hold your hand against it right there, and you can feel it to where it's that piece of lever it's not hitting the air filter at all. So as long as you cut the piece you need and you bubble it out enough, this the air filter is going to fit with no problem. So with that, let's get some fuel in it, see what happens, and see what we get. Alright, we'll get it outside, check it out, and hopefully this thing will finally freaking start up and run. Alright, so fingers crossed, man. This will be it. Well, minus going back and putting that mesh on, but get our screwdriver in case we need it. There's fuel in it. Hopefully, I got those lines on right. Yeah, it's priming. Choke. We're on. Bars released. So hopefully we'll get lucky and it'll take right off, which next to never happens. And this isn't a HIPAA carb. I ended up having to go through someone else. it's idling, that's a plus. We'll get it actually idling back. We've got it to where the blade, the chain, isn't turning, but it's supposed to be turning. You can see it's got a dead spot. Get a smaller screwdriver. We're almost bottomed out. I believe that's the high side. Yep, it's out. I believe it's out too far. What to do is try to anyway. This saw is just so freaking touchy. We'll run the high and low end. We'll bottom them out, bring them out 2 turns, and see what we get. Okay, so we got 1, almost 1. 1. It should be 2. 1, 2. Seems like a little too much, but alright, let's try to start it now and see what we get. Now, I was wanting to go with a Hippo carb because I always have such good luck with them, but I didn't find a listing. I had to like search for it, but generally it pops right up for me. But I didn't see a listing for this model saw, so. And it's just not wanting to go full throttle, but she's running. Got the high side. Now I just want to get it to where it's going to idle. I tell you, this thing is so freaking temperamental. Choke it. Oh, come on. Go. Good enough for me. Idle just needs adjusted. No big deal. Just revving fine. Just not happy with the idle. Yeah, I don't want to take it too much. It seems like it's already in a little far. Actually, honestly, it needs backed out, and the low needs adjusted on it. That should probably be close. Closer we was just at, but I guess the low needs adjusted on it. The high seems to be working great. It's working good enough to cut with if you had to. And actually, I'll try it. I got a board right there sticking up. Let's see if we can cut it off. She'll fire back up. Yep, so we just got to get her over here and mess with it a little bit. I don't have much time, but I don't want to leave you guys high and dry either. Daggone thing is so freaking tough. Good enough. Good enough for something they're going to do nothing but set and collect dust. There we got it, but if it was going to be used, like if I was taking it back over to my dad and it was going to be used more, I'd take and fine tune it a lot more, obviously, with the high. I think it's just needs a little bit more of adjustment on the lugs. It's wrapping fine. We got plenty of RPMs out of it, and it's just on the low side it's not happy. It still needs a little bit of tweaking. It's almost there, but it's this one is very, very, very picky. I mean, very picky, like as far as picky enough to where just bumping the screw on it was, was making a difference. And it's not happy with the half turns, quarter turns. It's more like eighth of a turn or less at a time with this one for it to be happy. So I'm not going to sit here and drag at it because it might take me a minute to get it like fully, to where it's going to be like dead on. But hey, it's running. If I needed to cut with it, I could cut with it. And you see that board, it cut straight through it, no problem. But like I was saying before, it's my dad's never going to use it, where he's his medical condition he has. It's just he'll just be happy that it runs. So that's it. It's good enough for me. I'm sure. I'm not sure. I know it'll be good enough for him. He'll just be happy to hear it's running. But I will tell you, with these saws right here, with this model muffler, you can take and 'cause these ones I've never liked them too much, because this style muffler, there's no exit on the front. I done a video a while back of one of these. It might be the one that had this. I had to do a carb swap like this on. I'm not sure, but it's this style muffler, and the exhaust on this, it exits on the back. If I can get it, I probably can't pick it up, but on the back of the muffler, right where you can see the aluminum, the heat shield it sets up against right there. So it sets. The exhaust comes out right in here. Has two notches that are pointed to this side of the saw, I believe. Yeah, I can't see it, but it should be that. So yeah. So what it does is it'll heat your plastic up and just makes it look like crap. I mean, some people who could care less, but so you got at least 2 notches, maybe 3 in the back, and they're pointed this way, and it comes out this way along the side. And a lot of times it gets that plastic good and hot. If you're doing a lot of cutting with it, it'll get a good and hot, leave burn marks all over everything. But an easy thing to do if you have nothing to do on a weekend, I took mine and used a they call them step bits, and went in the front of the muffler. Actually, I took it off and put it on a vise, but right here, took it off. He's got the 2 screws. It comes off. This whole piece separates. So the muffler turns into 3 pieces. You get the 2 screws right here off. This will come off, and this whole piece right here, you can just, if it won't separate, you just put a screwdriver or something in there, just move it a little bit, and it should pop off. And you can access the internals on it. Mine, I cannot remember what it had on the inside right offhand, but we removed it as some sort of baffle. But we took it out. I put JB Weld on the back where the 2 exhaust ports come to the side. Smoothed it over with JB Weld. Let it set. Put the front piece in a vise. Used a step bit. Knocked it down to where opened it up to where I needed it, and had a piece of tubing that was flared. Put the JB Weld on it. Pulled that down in tight, and just let it set in a vise with sitting there like that. And then once it started to set, I took a little bit of JB Weld and went around the outside and just smoothed it out so it didn't look terribly bad. And you can hit them with, I didn't, but you can hit them with like some sort of black heat paint or something like that so it looks all right, but your exhaust will flow better. And keep you from melting that plastic up. You can kind of see all the oil residue and everything where we just had it running, but everything will blow straight out the front instead of along the side, and you get all that buildup and everything along your plastic. One of the biggest problems a lot of people have, these saws I pick up on Marketplace, they call it home saws is what they're considered. A lot of people they just don't take care of them, so you end up up in here where the flywheel and everything is, all up through here. It all gets built up with sawdust. You get the 2-cycle wheel, everything for it, so everything's burned up, borrow, everything just builds up. It cakes in there, and your coil, I probably can't pick it up, but right underneath here on the case, I might be able to see. You might be able to see the edge of it there, but just past the flywheel right here. So here's your flywheel, just past it. Here's your coil, and people don't take care of them. I mean, it only takes them, takes a minute. You just pop your plastic off. You can access. You just got a handful of screws right there. There's what, 2, 4, 5 screws. I think this one has 4. And your side cover comes off, and it only takes a second to wipe that stuff out once in a while. And you heat that coil up, and you get all that stuff in there, and it just like mats in there and gets hot, and you end up having coil issues. You have no spark, but you can go on and on with them. But you can even on the back where the air cover is, there's a couple different ways you can take if I had the cover out here, I'd show you, but you can put a couple, like 3 or 4 holes along the cover, just get more airflow. That's one of the biggest downfalls of these, is getting air into the carburetor. And just once everything's set in place, you don't get much airflow in there to this setup. So a lot of them, I've done it to a couple of mine. We modified the muffler a little bit and the cover, put 2 or 3 holes where it just goes straight in towards the air filter, and seems to help a lot. But you'll notice the difference. I had 2 Poulan Pros. One, we got it running, left it factory from Poulan, and then the other one, we changed the setup on the not the carburetor, but on the airflow going into the carburetor, and we changed the muffler up a little bit, just get everything flow a little better. And you have them both out here. We had them both out here running at the same time, and you could tell the difference. You could tell the difference in, not necessarily the sound makes a big deal, but you could tell the difference in sound coming out of the exhaust, and the flow, the RPM, it gets its RPM quicker, wraps quicker. But something to think about if it's something you use a lot, help you out. And I need to take my word for it. If you get on YouTube or Google, well, Google owns YouTube, but if get on YouTube in general, and you can look up all kinds of just like next to nothing of cost ideas for these things just to help them run better. And I mean, that's just a couple. There's more out there, but if you get bored, you want to improve it a little bit, knock yourself out. You know, a couple of mine that made a difference, but I'll take his advice, and I'll get. I got some metal. I have screen for like screen windows. That's the metal style. So I'll cut a piece to get that to where I need it. Then I'll just use JB Weld and set it up, let it set and harden, and then like smear it over and all that. And so we don't have to worry about sawdust getting in here to where behind the filter to build up behind the filter and possibly make it into the car. But that's that. Just rambling on. But thanks for watching. Thanks to new subscribers. And if you've been watching for that bike, it's some of that should be coming up soon. We just have, since today is Tuesday, and we've had since Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday, so it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We have a humongous family, so it's been nothing but high school graduation parties. Today's the first day we've had with nothing to do, so that gave me a chance to mess with this a little bit. And I don't know, we might mess with the bike a little later today, I'm not sure. But anyhow, thanks for watching, thanks to new subscribers, and we'll catch you at the next one. Appreciate the watches.